Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Racers Driving League for Season 14, round number 5 of the Championship. It's the Miami Grand Prix here from the Miami International Autodrome. Last week's race, very, very exciting. Right to the end at Imola, and we've got some potential rain on the way in qualifying. Perhaps late on in the session or in the race, remains to be seen, but it could throw up some chaos here in tonight's exciting affairs. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, we have 3 drivers separated by just 1 point. Chalova leads the championship following victory in Imola, with BJ and Grumio both failing to score both here tonight. BJ and Fan from McLaren both in the running once more. Fan has slipped back a bit, he's 9 points out. 5 drivers right now in the running for the championship lead. Webbsy up there in 4th place on 44 points, just 6 points off the top. With a victory, could take over the championship lead depending on the results behind him. Have to wait and see what goes on there. We've got one of the AlphaTauris coming through. That's Sniper Hunter here for the start of his first qualifying run. Of course, the Miami International Autodrome relatively new to the F1 calendar. First year back in 2022. This is the first game it's been included on. Have to see how these drivers handle it. Weaving to warm those soft tyres up for the start of his first run. It's quite a long back straight there. I expect a lot of DRS overtakes to be made there, in particular over the course of this race. Comes into the last turn to begin that first run, getting right on the throttle, taking it on a lap of the Miami circuit. Over the line, relatively short run towards that first corner, just short main straight. Curtis already out the session. I believe there's a qualifying ban. Through turn 1 there, very tight first corner. Pope joins the session. That long sweeping turn 3, that right-hander. Making his way towards turn 4 now, looking for a good entry. Sweeping right back over to that left-hand side, getting on the curb, not much. Through 6 and now 7. Nice and smooth here, getting to the outside of the track as he makes his way towards turn number 8 and coming towards that first sector split. 30.6. So to start, making his way now towards that second DRS straight. Again, another great overtaking opportunity. We should see quite a few of those tonight. And coming towards the corner here. It'll be very tight, that braking zone. Makes it without too much fuss. And now into the stadium section. A lot more technical, a lot tighter. Into that very tight next chicane. Track limits could be a problem for most of the drivers here. Out that next corner and making his way towards the third and final DRS zone in this circuit. Could be some late passes guard here today. Hits 200 miles an hour. Wardy also retiring. He has a body round to his name after the incidents last week at Imola with Grumio. Into the last real corner on the circuit, which is a simple left and a right to the line, and we'll see what the first time of the session is. Sniper Hunter gets a 1 minute 28.5 dead for AlphaTauri. So good start so far. Here comes one of the Red Bulls, Ethan there, who does go faster by just under a second, 1 minute 27.7. Ethan, who sits 6th in the Drivers' Championship right now, sitting just 20 points off the top spot. Chalova, like I say, there at the top of the championship for the first time in his IDL career. And we'll look to try and extend that lead tonight. He's coming through to complete his first qualifying run. See where he puts himself. Looking at a very strong time here, perhaps matching Ethan's, if not exceeding. And he does exceed. 1 minute 27.2. By about half a second there, he's improved on the previous effort. As Grumio goes 4th and 5th fastest, as Lycon crosses the line behind him, he takes 4th. 1 minute 28.6. Grumio can definitely improve on that. I'm assuming he backed off at some point. The Aston Martin driver didn't have the best of races last time out. As a result, he's lost the championship lead that he had tied with BJ. As I say, that PJ Keller goes 3rd in the Alfa Romeo, 1 minute 28.2. And we had another car cross the line. That was Ericsson in the other Haas machine. And one of the McLarens coming towards the line as well. That's Fan to start his first run. Of course, McLaren doing very well so far in the Constructors' Championship, leading by a good 26 points to Aston Martin in 2nd place, Mercedes in 3rd, Ferrari 4th, Red Bull 5th, Haas in 6th, Alfa Romeo 7th, Alpine 8th, Williams 9th, and AlphaTauri slipping from grace. Now down in 10th in the championship. That's dead last, just 11 points to their name from these opening 4 races. Let's see if they can turn that around. So goes BJ, then making his way through the chicane. Keeping within the track confines. Webb's up there in 4th now. And JB's gone 7th. So 2 AlphaTauris. Not too bad a start, but towards the back end of the drivers have set laps. Here comes Gremio now towards the line, looking to improve on his previous effort. It's 1 minute 27, and it's enough for P2. It's very close between him and Oliver. About a tenth and a half or so between them. And here come both McLarens to the line. It's BJ through first, looking to try and reclaim that championship lead. Towards the line he comes. 1 minute 27. He's invalidated at the last moment though, and that would have put him in 3rd place just behind Gremio and Oliver. He's got to make that lap again, and we'll see what Fan does here. I want to try not to make the same mistake if he can. And through the last turn, stakes on it and gets to that 3rd place spot, only just missing out on the front row. So it's from this first lap, it's obvious who the pacemakers are in tonight's race. Still waiting on a couple of drivers to join the session here. 11 minutes to go, and we've seen top 10 drivers set times. Waiting on 5 of them now. Pope across the line here. What's he got? Puts himself 5th fastest, 1 minute 28.1. So the fastest of those 1 minute 28 setters. And BJ's without a front wing here. What on earth happened there? We've missed that unfortunately, but BJ now going around without a front wing on his car. And that would not be preferable. He had to get back to the pits. So disastrous first run for BJ there. A time that could have put him onto the second, if not the front row of the grid. Now invalidating at the last possible moment. And now he has no front wing. Unsure as to where he's binned it, but he has to come back to the pit lane. Fresh front wing on that car. Let's go again. Majority of drivers in the pit lane at the moment. In comes BJ. Zach Sherman in the Red Bull, currently on his lap. After taking a podium finish last time out for his first points of the season. That's 15 to his name now. And after put him tied with Landlord in the championship. Landlord who should be joining at some point during qualifying. Hasn't done the best of starts to the season himself. He'll be looking to try and rectify that to some extent tonight. But an unfortunate opening lap incident in Imola really hampered his chances, and he came back to the order, but things just didn't work out for him in the end. And just 15 points to his name, coming from that 3rd place finish in Bahrain. So here comes Zach Sherman towards the last corner. Of course, lap is invalidated. So just waiting on Alvar and Landlord to join the session. Alvar in the Williams and Landlord in the Aston Martin. Of course, Williams without a car in qualifying right now, down to Wardy, who of course is out due to a qualifying ban. And there is Gremio who's won the car. Gremio who's only just avoided hitting or being hit by Oliver's Mercedes there. Oliver on another lap here, looking to improve if he can. Things starting to brighten up a little bit. He's a 10th up, is Oliver so far. So I want to try and improve on that in the second sector. So he comes now towards the left-hander. Over the curb there. And we're right back on the curbs on the exit. Very careful going to the chicane now. Good entry. Careful not to go wide. He's placed that very well. And now going through the next left-hander onto the DRS straight. And that next split. And now he's 4 tenths up. So it's looking like a 1 minute 26. Provided he can finish this lap off. Be a very, very close one here. Towards the late stages of this lap. 213 miles an hour. As he enters the braking zone. Coming to the last corners around the outside of the Hard Rock Stadium and charging towards the line. It's been a 1 minute 26.8. That's a new pole time for Che Oliver, who puts himself even further ahead of his championship rivals. BJ back out on the racetrack here, looking to make a new lap. This will be the first lap of his next run as he comes towards the line here. Just have to see what he can do. Hoping not to invalidate at the last possible second this time around. Into turn 1. Nice and smooth. Keep an eye on him until we get to the first sector. Still waiting on Alvar and Landlord, who may just have to start in the back. And it could happen from there. It's been anyone's season so far. 4 winners in the first 4. Sorry, 3 winners from. I'm so wrong. 4 winners from the first 4 races. There's Gremio in Bahrain, C1SMP fan Saudi Arabia, BJ in Australia, and Oliver in Imola. So could we see a 5th winner? Could it be the day potentially for Websy, who's the only driver in that top 5 who is not a race winner? He's got there pure off consistency. He's given himself a better chance here by putting himself 6th fastest in the timing boards. 1 minute 27.6. Could he get a few more tenths out of that? There's 2 more tenths would put him on the front row. And there is C1SMP fan has gone around there, recovering the car without problem. Still 3rd place, only just. Gremio looking to improve. He's half a second up out of that second sector. Another tenth, and he could just do it. He's close. Look how close that is between the Mercedes and the Aston Martin. As BJ comes towards the line, puts himself 3rd. Brilliant lap there from BJ. And that would have stacked up quite well against Gremio's old lap. But it's clear these 4 in particular mean business this season. Here comes Websy now, once again. 3 tenths down this time. May have backed off in certain parts of the track. We're still waiting a few more cars to set lap times here. Daniel Aron currently on his first run. 5 minutes to go in this session, so still a bit of time left. And Landlord, I think, is close to joining, as is Alvar. So those 2 might be able to get times in at the last possible moment. Daniel Aron still on the exit of that last corner. DRS now deployed. And that definitely isn't going to be pulling up any trees. It's gone straight on. You got to wait for the Aston Martin to go by and rejoin just behind him here. Really not sure what the plan was there for Dan. Comes back into the pit lane. Top 4 cars running all in the pit lane. Ethan on his that lap for his next run. Both Red Bulls currently out on the racetrack. Only 2 cars out there right now. It's just a few minutes to go now. I've been gearing up for those last runs. The track about to get very, very busy. You have to wait and see who will be the first one out. And it's one of the Alfa Romeos, I do believe. It's PJ Khaled, followed by the Haas of Lycon. Zach Sherman warming up his tyres here as Ethan gets towards the end of the first sector. He's currently 5th at the moment. Ericsson currently alongside on that 3rd row in 6th place. Sits 16th in the championship, just 4 points to his name so far this season. The driver who won the last race of season 13 in Japan. Hasn't quite the start he might have wanted, but there's still plenty of times. Only round 5, and we've still got quite a lot of racing to do. Looking at about 17, 18 more rounds over the course of the next couple of months. As JB retiring from the session there in the pit lane. Both Landlord and Alvar now in the session. So we'll be seeing them setting what will be their first and only times provided they get out on the racetrack in time. Ethan stays 5th, improves a little bit, but not enough. Like any significant gains on those in front of him. Ericsson's on his outlap. Oh, there goes. Going to be making his entry onto the racing surface. Trying not to get in the way too much of those around him. Chayalova goes charging through. And Grimio's going to try and give himself his own bit of clean space. Landlord on his lap already. Getting right to work here. Only got a chance or two if he's lucky, at nailing this. Alvar out the pit lane as well on the Williams. So Williams getting some representation now in this session. So we reach the closing minutes of this qualifying session here in Miami. Yellow flag is X3. That's one of the Haas cars going slow. Yep, reaching the last minute and 20 seconds of the session. M1 now here. And we're just waiting now for those drivers to set their lap times. Daniel Aaron out the first sector. 31.1. It's not the best of starts. Ethan coming towards the pit lane here. His runs are over. Zach Shem stays out, puts himself 5th fastest. An all Red Bull 3rd row now as he pushes Ericsson off of the 3rd row and now sits alongside or just in front of his teammate Ethan, who won't be looking to reply as we enter the last minute of this session. All 4 of our main title contenders, or these early title contenders I should say, are out there on set and setting their final laps. Landor has managed to get round in time. Will Alvar get round in time? Slim chance he might just miss out. There's been a misunderstanding at turn 1 there. And that's C110P fan has gone around. And I dare say it's his qualifying session over. Does Alvar get to the line in time? Barely over the line in time. So we wait now for our next cars to come through to complete their final runs. Here comes Snipe Hunter, currently P12 for AlphaTauri, one of the Haas cars behind him. And Snipe Hunter puts himself P7 and Ericsson spins to the last corner. And that'll be his lap over. We go now to Touchby Pope. We haven't seen much from this session. He's a quarter of a second up out of Sector 2. Could put himself up into that top 10 with a good finish to the lap. Only P12. A bit of improvement, but not enough. Daniel Aaron 14th there. Landlord in 13th. For a bank lap, not too bad. PJ Callan's gone around. And here comes Oliver looking to improve on that pole time. And he will improve, but does Grumio have anything left for him? He does! Salve Grumio on pole position as of right now. BJ's invalidated. Fans spun out. Zach Sherman in the pit lane. Here comes Websy though, half a second up as it stands going into that final sector. Websy towards the line. What's it looking like? P3 on the grid. Knocking Fan off of the second row. That can be a great start for Websy in the Ferrari on the run towards that first corner. This could be a very, very exciting Miami Grand Prix as everyone gets towards the end of things. But Salve Grumio, the reigning champion, now on pole position for the Miami Grand Prix. Round number 5 of the championship. Another pole position to his name. We're looking to carry that through into the race. And Chailova will have a championship lead to defend. In a few moments' time, we go green for this Miami Grand Prix. Have a look through your top 10 before we get to the race. So Grumio on pole position, Oliver alongside him towards that first corner. Websy now 3rd, BJ 4th, C110P Fan 5th, Zach Sherman 6th, Ethan 7th, Sniper Hunter in 8th, Ericsson 9th, and PJ Khaled rounds at your top 10. So that is top half of the grid that will lead us to the first corner for the Miami Grand Prix in a matter of moments. I'm back with you in just a few minutes for the start. So it should be a very good one. Welcome back then to the Miami International Autodrome for round number 5 of the championship here in the Racers Driving League Season 14. A very entertaining Miami Grand Prix in the making for you guys at home. Should be a very entertaining one indeed. Before we get into it, make sure to like, share and subscribe for more RDL action as the season continues on. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, before we get into the start, we'll be back to the broadcast formation lap this week. So Che Oliver leads the Drivers' Championship by 1 point to both BJ and your reigning champion, Salve Grumio, in the Aston Martin. Websy, 6 points back from the lead in 4th, starts 3rd for the race. Steven P-Fan in 5th, 9 points off the top. Ethan, 20 points back in 6th. And in terms of the Constructors' Championship, it was McLaren who showed the way by 26 points over Aston Martin in 2nd place. AlphaTauri, slumming at the bottom of the table, have some work to do here, but both their drivers in decent qualifying positions for this race, so it should be a good chance to try and score some points. Only one driver yet to score this season, that is Wardy, who came close to points last week before an incident with our defending champion. He'll be hoping for less of that this week, and perhaps more of those points on the board. So moments away now from the formation lap getting underway. We were told there might be a bit of rain potentially in this Grand Prix, but from the weather I'm seeing, it doesn't look like there's much chance of that happening. So have to wait and see, wait for those clouds to show up and decide that. We're looking at rain towards the end of the race, to my knowledge. In a few minutes' time, we'll get a 30-second countdown to start the race, and there it is. So 30 seconds to go. So could potentially spice things up towards the end of this Grand Prix. Of course, we've had some very entertaining races with rain at the end before. Think back to Imola in Season 12. But could we see a repeat of that today? Let's find out. It's time for the formation lap. The Miami Grand Prix is next.
Here we go then. The formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out.
So in terms of starting tyres, then the top 6 all on hard tyres. Looking at 5 runners on mediums. Everyone else has gone with that hardest white compound tyre.
As the cars make their way back to the starting grid to form up and get ready for lights out, let's hope the race ahead today is a thrilling one that will go down as a memorable Grand Prix in the history books.
We can only hope. Landlord, the defending winner here in Miami, after winning in Season 13. And we're looking now at a very entertaining grid who will take the flag here today, and a championship battle on our hands involving multiple drivers in multiple teams. And we haven't seen in a little while since Season 12 Blaze, or formerly Blaze, and Landlord going for the championship in the Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri cars. Landlord coming out on top. This time Grumio's got new challengers, and I've got to face them once again here in Miami as we wait now for the lights to go out. And here we go, 5 red lights for the Miami Grand Prix. Lights out, foot to the floor, go, go, go. Decent go to the 2 front runners. Who gets the run towards that first corner? Oliver's got a brilliant getaway. He might lead into the first corner. Grumio around the outside, but he's gone a bit too deep. And there's contact by the back. And PJ Keller came flying in there. No yellow flags. Everyone's okay for the moment, but it's going to get a bit spicy here for this next turn. I think everyone's gotten through somewhat cleanly. It's absolute kerfuffle back there. Che Oliver leads over Grumio in 2nd. BJ 3rd. He's got gained places off of Websy. Zach Sherman and Lycon has gained 6 places since the start. Brilliant getaway from him. Ethan down in 7th. Huggy Bear's gained 11 places. How on earth has he done that? He's gone from 19th all the way to 8th. And no damage on the car whatsoever. No penalties, nothing. So he's really got away with that. PJ Calado, his teammate, not so lucky. Penalty from early on after making collisions. C110 P-Fan down 6 places since the start. He's got his work cut out for him here if he wants any chance of getting back into this race. Outside of the points as it stands. Everyone making their way through that stadium section for the first time. No mistakes in the leaders so far. Oliver's job now is to try and pull away as best he can. He's holding off that Aston Martin down this back straight, making their way towards the left-hander. He's getting the toe he needs, but not enough to get close for a move at that top spot. He's going to stay in 2nd place for the time being. BJ closing in, but he's gone a bit deep there. It's going to lose a lot of time on the exit. ERS now deployed for Grumio. Yellow flag behind them. And who is that? That is his teammate Landlord, the defending winner here in Miami. Now slipping to the back of the order. Of course, joining late, so little to no practice, and we'll cut him some slack there. The two leaders pulling away here as we begin this second lap of this Grand Prix. And Grumio's already looking around at trying to make something work, trying to make something happen here. Going on the attack through these next couple of corners. It's been a very, very entertaining start there. In terms of gaining and losing, the biggest gainer has been Huggy Bear, who's gained 11th, and he's gained 11 places, and the biggest loser has been Sniper Hunter, who has lost 11 places. So a tale of two starts for those two in particular. And Grumio's got the toe he needs to try and reclaim the top spot. Will he go for it? Not going to try it from that far back. Fan behind them up into 10th place now. And we got Daniel Aaron and Huggy Bear going at it into the left hand. It's a switch back from Huggy, who goes around the outside. And if he can get through the stadium section, might just be able to pull this one off. Going into the corner there, side by side. And there goes Daniel off into the wall. No damage done. But Huggy Bear holds his ground around the outside and takes away P8 in quite spectacular style early on here. Ericsson behind them. PJ Keller and Alvar going at it. Oh, Ericsson slowing a bit. Does he have damage? He managed to be out of shape on the exit. Things have settled down to some extent here. Oliver now leading by about 6/10 to Grumio in second place. Sets the fastest up once again, but BJ takes it for himself. He's keeping pace with these two. And the DRS now deployed for the first time in this Grand Prix. His Landlord's gone around. So a very poor start from the Aston Martin driver here. Couple of cars in the pit lane. And BJ's out! Oh, and that's a nasty looking hit for the former championship leader, who finds his McLaren strewn in the middle of the racetrack. No idea what happened there, so apologies for missing it. But BJ out so early on in this Grand Prix. Was it driver error? Safety car deployed for the first time in this race so early on. I can only imagine how frustrating that would be. Of course, wasn't here last week. And may now have to rely on those drivers around him not scoring today in order to hold on to that gap in the championship. Of course, just 1 point at the moment, but that could be a good 26, 27 points should Oliver or Grumio win today. We had a few cars in the pits just a few moments ago. To look see who that is. So PJ Callan and Daniel Aaron both making changes. And for Daniel Mayer's to repair damage, because he hit the wall when battling Huggy. He's up in 7th place now. And Landlord's made 2 stops. I think we're looking at any stops here early on. I can imagine the medium time runners maybe coming in too early for Ethan. So I think we'll consider them staying out for the time being. The hard tyres won't go that long into the race. And these guys aren't looking to go hard to the end with the threat of rain coming. So this race brought to a somewhat standstill very early on here. And we're losing one of the major players in the Drivers' Championship. Fan down there in 8th. Things not looking good for McLaren. We've seen them come back from adversity like this early on this season. Think back to Saudi Arabia just a few weeks ago. Fan down there in 8th place. With the right combination of factors, like I say, he's come back from worse too. Sniper Hunter, Ericsson, Peter Callan all in the pit lane here. Front wing change to the Alfa Romeo. Ericsson going on to a fresh set of mediums. Fresh set of hards of Sniper Hunter. So go as long as he can on those, I assume, before the rain comes. So that's why we're looking at another change of the safety car. So lap 4 here, I'm assuming we're probably getting going on around lap 6 or 7 in this Grand Prix. But a very unfortunate way to start off. So the yellow flag's being flown there by the marshals as Oliver leads the pack behind that Mercedes safety car. So in terms of position gain now, the biggest gainer has been Huggy Bear, has gained a total of 12 places now since the start. As I say, started in P19 and is all the way up to 7th here this early on. 6 points in the opening few races this season. Looking to add some more to his tally to try and match his teammate. Courtney Goldman, 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Coming in to make a change onto another set of medium tyres. We're without too much trouble here. Safety car does give a chance for Lando to try and catch up to the rest of the pack. Or to catch up, rather. Well, I dare say maybe another lap or so before we get going again. Landlord through turn 1. All of them were midway through the second sector. He's right there behind that safety car, unsure as to why. Grimio and Websy keeping their distance from the race leader for the time being. Now, if Lando catches up, we could see us getting back to racing this time, potentially. I have to see. That's how late will they leave it under safety car. Grimio with a skid there on the exit. Still warming his tyres up to some degree. And we could be getting going this time. And yes, we are. Safety car in this lap. So the action will continue on once again. BJ out, unfortunately. Big opportunity now for Grimio and Oliver to try and increase a lead in the championship. He's leading the pack down that long DRS straight and into the corner. Now, when will he go? Bunting up a bit more, and now he's going. He's pulled about half a second or so. He's back to racing on lap number 6 of this Miami Grand Prix. Zach Sherman and Websy, their battle resuming after last week's race of the podium in Imola. Sherman's got to run the outside, that'll be the inside for turn 3. He's on the curbs there. Websy holding his ground around the outside, and Daniel Aaron's gone around. There's contact with his Alpine teammate Curtis. And that's very unfortunate. Alpine now falling into the back end of the order. Back up front here, Oliver. Still going quite well. Websy's already fallen away. But he's held on to P3. Zach was unable to challenge him. He might go at him again though to make the way towards the next left-hander. But he might be a bit too far back for it to have any effect. Back on into the corner. Running in 5th place at the moment, and there goes Grimio around the outside, who all of a sudden is right there with Shea Oliver. The two leaders going side by side into the chicane. They're hoping not to make contact. Grimio may have cut the chicane there, rejoins behind Oliver as he should. Oliver immediately trying to break the toe if he can. These two really going at it last season, looking to try and reignite that duel. And Websy behind them looking to get involved if he can. He's had a brilliant start to the season. We'll continue it here. Right up there behind the Aston Martin in the race for second. Lap 7 now. Grimio right there behind Oliver. Just a few tenths in it. Both cars on equally matched tyres. Lap 7 here then. Zach Sherman still chasing Websy. Poor exit from the Ferrari. Could make something happen this time. He's going to look to the outside. The outside for the next left-hander. He's using a lot of that battery. Both of them are, in fact. He's going to now duck to the inside. Try to make something happen. Looking underneath. He's got his nose in there. Websy has no choice but to give him room Force him around the outside a little bit. Side by side, no contact. Very clean racing here. Into the chicane they go. A bit of wheel bang, and Websy almost goes around and loses 2 places as a result. Zach Sherman up on the podium now. And Websy could also fall prey to Ethan here. Loses out to one Red Bull and might just lose out to another. Grumio and Oliver already seeming worlds apart from the rest of the pack, as they did so many times last season. One long train here as DRS gets redeployed on lap number 8. There goes JB, looking for position off of C110P fan. Getting very close here, looking to the outside of the exit of turn 3. And through 4, he got his nose in. But goes wide at 5. Has to fall out. Could fall prey to Pope, who's running in the last of those points paying positions. Grumio has DRS now. It's what he wants, it's what he needs. And the championship leader has been frustrated on heavy DRS circuits so far this season. Think back to Australia just 2 weeks ago. Will he have used that experience against BJ to try and pull something? Oliver's gone wide again, and Grumio sees his chance. The 2 leaders go side by side. But Oliver wins out a bit easier this time. Grumio setting himself up for the DRS straight once more. And Lycon will also be setting up for that straight as well. DRS now deployed for both cars here. Oliver trying to break the toe. Grumio closing in. Unwise to go for it here. Yellow flag further back, and that is Daniel Aaron. Webster is looking at getting it back on Lycon. Didn't can make it work. Lando passing Courtney Goblin. And Fan battling Huggy in the Alfa Romeo, who triumphs on this occasion. And JB all over the back of the McLaren, who just lost out. Entertaining battle so far. Alvar into the pit lane here. Looking at his first stop of the race. Changing to medium tyres and he's away. Good stop from the Williams team. Again, less than half a second separating Oliver and Grumio. He's getting quite close this time. Oliver's got quite a lot of VRS left though, so he's able to defend himself quite well. It won't be enough to stop the charging Aston Martin on the outside, and Curtis is out of the race, and the safety car is deployed. Who was in front there? I think Oliver might have just been in front. And he's been saved quite miraculously there as Curtis has lost the car going to turn 4. Safety car for the second time in 10 laps. And Oliver only just stays in the lead. The battle between these two has been mesmerising so far. Can only hope it'll continue on. Down to 18 cars now. I've lost a McLaren and an Alpine. Do we see any stops here? Both the leaders staying out. Those hard tyres can go a lot longer into this thing. Ethan and JB, the main runners on mediums, also staying out. So top 10 then, all yet to make their first stops of this race. As well as Wardy, who sits back there in P13. The reporter is saying that, reportedly saying these hard tyres are so grim in the driver's chat. So doesn't seem to be enjoying the situation out there in terms of tyre wear. Haven't seen many problems from anyone else regarding those tyres so far. But 10 laps into this thing, the battle between Oliver and Grumio, as I say, continues to entertain over the last few laps. And Oliver only just managing to stay in front. Alvar into the pit lane once again, putting those old hard tyres back on. And Daniel Aaron making a change in front wing. And onto a set of soft tyres here, so bit of a different decision there. It's Oliver leads then. Grimio second, Zach Sherman now in third. Lycon fourth, Websy down to fifth after that battle with the Red Bull. Ethan sixth, Huggy Bear seventh, JB 8th, C110P fan 9th, and Pope in the last points per position. It's Landlord 11th, Courtney Golan 12th, Wardy 13th, PJ Caleb 14th, Ericsson 15th, Sniper Hunter 16th, Alvar 17th, Daniel Aaron the last running car in 18th, and Curtis and BJ both out of this race. So press lap number 11 here. 18 laps to go and we cross the line. There's still a long way to go. And the slower we go, the more chance there is of that rain showing up earlier than expected. And that could really throw things into chaos in the late stages. Of course, a lot of drivers are experienced in the wet here. Daniel Aaron, 5-second penalties, coming into the pit lane again. I think the film we're waiting for a little while for him here. Onto a set of hard tyres. Away he goes. We're still waiting for Alvar to join us back in the pack. He's about 26 seconds behind. And we're also waiting now on Daniel as well, who's a further 24 back. It's about half a lap behind here for those two combined. So I dare say we could be here for another lap or two. Those cars behind the two leaders. Zach Sherman, Lycon and Websy in particular. Ethan back there as well. Could they mount a surprise challenge on the two leaders this time around on this restart? And will Oliver have made any changes to his strategy on the restart, considering how the last one went? Of course, he emerged in front and held it until this safety car came out. As Websy comes to the pit lane now himself. Websy pitting from 5th place then. Off those hard tyres and onto intermediates. So could that be a sign of things to come with the rain here? And Alvarez coming into the pits as well. If he's going into this, then we are going to start seeing it very shortly here. So don't go anywhere. This race could be about to get a lot more entertaining. And yes, they do. Sorry, they have soft tyres prepared. And a front wing change as well. So Websy now on those intermediate tyres. If he can hold those as far as he can into the Grand Prix, then he might have a solid chance of a high scoring finish. He's now at the back of the pack with fresh inters on the car. That could be a struggle for him on the restart. Daniel Aaron in the pit lane still. Penalty to be served before a fresh set of soft tyres go on his car. So Alvar and Daniel preparing ahead to some extent, putting on soft tyres that will last them close to the period where the rain comes about. And Websy trying to think even further ahead than both of them here. With intermediate tyres on the cars. Could that mean the rain's coming in a couple of laps' time? Is this the wisest choice from the Ferrari driver? Safety car in this lap. So not waiting for Daniel or Alvar. They get right to it here. So I have to see just what Websy's inters can do and just what will happen in this continuing enthralling duel for the lead, between this duo of Oliver and Grumio. Does the Red Bull of Zach Sherman try and get involved behind them? Does Lycon or Eaton have anything for them? Alvar to catch up in time. Webb's at the back of the pack there. I can't imagine him having too much speed. Oliver leading them out the last corner. And now choosing to pull away. Yellow flag behind them, and that is Pope, who's dropping back big time here on the race. He's just backed off for no reason. JB making the pass and Huggy into turn 1, and there goes C110 P-Fan as well to the inside. Double whammy for Huggy Bear here. Could lose out 2 spots on this start. Holding his ground on the outside. Fan forcing him upstairs. Yellow flag, sector 1. Who is that? I think we're all okay here. Webbsy's gained a place off of those inters. So maybe PJ Keller involved there. Alvar and Pope behind them. Landlord passing Connie. Might get to work on Huggy as quick as he can. He's going to go for it. And he breezes past the Alfa Romeo of relative ease. And there goes Connie Goblin as well. What has happened to Huggy Bear here? He's jumping back like crazy. And he's out of the points now just like that. Wardy's still down his outside. So he could try and get one of those points back. But there goes Wardy around the outside. It's a double overtake from the Williams Rabbit. Providing he can hold it, he can hold off Cottony Goblin here. And he does. Wardy now up into the points positions. Can he hold on to this one? We've still got a bit of racing to go, but it's looking good for him. Brilliant stuff. And Grumio's really fallen back here. He's down behind Zach Sherman, but gets back past him with relative ease. The Red Bull's going to keep with him as best he can. Oliver, we're very pleased how this has gone. He's got a 2.5 advantage over his Aston Martin rival, with the Red Bull giving chase to him, and he'll become more the priority. Towards turn 1 here, lap number 14. Those clouds definitely building, and I dare say we may start seeing the first few droplets of rain in a matter of moments' time. And now there's Grumio falling down to 4th here. Poor exit from him, or poor run through turn 3 has allowed both Zach Sherman and Lycon to take advantage. Oliver now building a lead of 3 seconds over the pack behind him. Couldn't imagine a better situation for him being right now. And it looks like as things stand, the championship lead will be not only staying where it is, but increasing dramatically here. As Landlord pulls to the inside of Fan, going into the left-hander. And Grumio continues to fall back. He's got no front wing. No front wing on the Aston Martin. So damage has been done. And once again, that wing taking heavy casualty on the racetrack. And it's the reason why he's falling through the field here, down to P5. And he may choose to go on to the inters now. I don't quite believe this. He's staying out. Grumio is staying out on that front, without a front wing on the car. He's just locked up there. Was that a wise decision from the defending champion? JB on the attack. He's got Landlord right behind him in an Aston Martin sandwich as they charge towards turn 4. And Grumio really holding up JB here. His yellow flag, and that is Webbsy who's gone around. And all of a sudden, that intermediate tyre gamble not looking so hot for him. No M plate on the right hand side of the car. And JB has also fallen for the order. So he may have spun out. And we are starting to see the first few droplets of rain on the racetrack. Does that prompt our race leader to change onto a set of intermediate tyres? Now, this action could put Webbsy right back into the mix still. How far back is he from Oliver? He sits 28 seconds behind, so he may emerge a few seconds behind the race leader when the rain starts to fall. And that'll only benefit him more as the downpour begins. Grumio still only there, still there in 5th place, now 4th, as Ethan pulls into the pits, as does Ericsson. Making the first choice to go onto medium tyres. Excuse me, onto intermediate tyres. You see the rain a lot more visibly now. He's been held up there by... Sorry, I thought he'd been held up by Ericsson, but no, he's kind of just in front of him. And we're seeing JB come in as well. Changing onto those green walled inters. And away he goes. Don't go anywhere, folks. It's about to get a lot more interesting. Websy changing that front wing and onto a fresh set of inters. The gamble has not worked out for him. A mistake may have just cost him a good shot of points. Che Oliver now sits 4 seconds clear of Zach Sherman. I still find it hard to believe that Grumio is still going on that front wing on hard tyres on an increasingly dry track. And still keeping it in 4th place. DRS now for Landor, his teammate. And the pair of them now battling at it once again. For the first time this season, Landor looks to the inside. And gets the job done. The 2 champions of the previous 2 seasons going after theirs. Grumio's gone way wide on the exit. And he's still staying out. I don't quite believe this. The reigning champion, Salve Grumio, somehow still going on that hard tyre car. No front wing on it. And at times like this, despite the situation, you've got to applaud just what he is trying to do. He's taking a very bold risk here. Will it reward him though? That's the only question. So Lycon and Ethan have both pitted. Zach Sherman and Charles are still staying out here, as is Grumio there in 3rd. Snipe Hunter, Alvar, Huggy still on dry tyres. Grumio and Alvar are looking to take Snipe Hunter on, but no DR. Grumio, sorry, Snipe Hunter and Alvar looking to take Grumio on. No DRS for them here. Look how much faster Grumio is going on those without a front wing than those guys behind him. He's gone wide though. Watch him defend here down the straight. He's going a bit faster than those behind him. Locked up once again here. Snipe Hunter through. And surely now. Oh, he almost lost it. And all 3 cars now calling it quits and coming into the pits. Zach Sherman and Cherlov are both away. Mercedes versus Red Bull here up front. Huggy gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Everyone now going into wet tyres. Or wet weather tyres rather. For those conditions. And the order about to change massively here. Grumio now out of the points paying places in P13 with a lot of work to do. Could be P15 by the time he leaves the pit lane. Yeah, and P14 they're all just behind a skidding Cockney Goblin who loses it. There goes the Ferrari through turn 3. Well, all of a sudden, I dare say the rain has brought another twist to this race. Lionel there in 5th. Looks like to happen on Ethan as they make their way towards the left-hander. No DRS, none necessary for the former champ Landlord, who sized his way through on the inside. But Ethan's still with him with side by side into the chicane. Be careful with the throttle on the exit here. Lycon there in 3rd. Chandler has 11 laps to go here. No mistakes can be made from the Mercedes driver. He wants to win this race. Become the first driver to win 2 races this season. Zach Sherman there in 2nd will be preying on one of those mistakes or a safety car if that. So lap 19 now. Romeo trying to get to work here. About a second or so behind Huggy Bear. Both Williams cars up in the points it stands. Warney Dennis in an incredible 7th place. Bit wide there through turn 3. Ericsson could try and take advantage. He's closed in to some extent. And that gap will continue to shut down more and more as he makes his way through 5, 6 and 7 here. A good exit from the Haas driver could be all he needs, and a bit of that ERS as well. Using that to his advantage, he makes his way down that next straight. Not close enough here. The rain continues to fall on the circuit as Grumio makes his way past Huggy Bear for 12th now. Chalaba is under complete focus right now. He's only increasing his lead. Yellow flag, sector 1, and that is PJ Calloway going around. He's got no front wing at all. He's away here. And the safety car deployed. For the 3rd time in this Grand Prix. On lap number 19, we've got a good 10 laps or so of racing under our belts so far in this race. Or at least under that last little stint. Decent number of laps of racing in this Grand Prix so far. We've still got 9 laps to go, but this will close up the field massively here and give some of these drivers further back an opportunity to try and get some late points on the board. So drivers towards the tail end of the top 10 might just be looking over their shoulders nervously at what's going on behind. It's been man up from heaven for Grumio, who will see a chance to move back up. As of right now, himself and BJ will stay tied on points, 49 each for the 2nd week in a row, unless he can score some here. C110P fan back up into 6th. So that'd be a good 8 points for him. To move up to 49, that'll put him tied with BJ and Grumio as it stands. And both Mercedes cars at opposite ends of the points as well. Trail of his lead's been reduced to nothing. Now, do we see anyone change the fresh inside? That we do. Now, Zach Sherman will be the one looking to take advantage as best he can here on this restart. The rain falling harder and harder here. Is there any need for the wet tyres? I wouldn't think there is. Of course, saying that I can't judge how wet it is out there, the drivers can. Let's see if anyone comes in here to make that change. Everyone stays out. Almost as expected. The track only wet enough for enters as it stands. Lap 21 now. We're into the final 9 laps of this Grand Prix. A lot of racing still to be done. We're waiting for those cars further back to catch up. Oliver's taking control of this race since the damage done to Grumio's car. He might still have a chance here. It remains to be seen. Zach Sherman wants to get this thing underway as quickly as he can here. He may feel like he's losing time. No sign of that safety car coming in just yet. Got one more lap behind him at minimum. Of course, it didn't wait last time around for Dan to catch back up, or who it was at the back. Lap 22 now. Not long to go. Daniel Aaron almost closed up now to the back of the pack. Show over here has a lead to defend. But will there be any change to his strategy? It's worked for him so far. He managed to maintain the lead both times around, but he's got a new challenger behind him now. Directly in second place, who has seen how he is driven against Grumio on these restarts. So maybe let's try something different. Daniel now pitting for wet tyres as well. Massive change here that could add to things late on. Could he be in the right position? He's too far back to make any impact on the final result, methinks. However, could potentially the decision's gone to wet tyres to a spanner in the works for some of these cars? Should there be another late safety car? Let's wait and see. But the main focus at this point will be on that restart. And safety car in this lap then. Right, here we go. Chayolova has a big lead to defend here. He got it to around 5 seconds before the safety car came out. He's got a job to finish. Both cars, both PJ and Daniel, catch to the back of the pack in time. Grumio will make up those plays to get back inside the points and put himself clear of BJ in the championship. If he doesn't, they'll remain tied for the second straight week. And where is Oliver? There he goes. And himself and Zach Sherman have left the pack for dust. Lycon already falling him back in. Landlord and Ethan going straight past him. He's down to 5th. He's lost out hugely on this restart. Into turn 1 they go. Fan will be the next potential suitor for that 5th position. Pope and Alva battling out of turn 1. Pope gets the jump on this occasion. Zach Sherman there in second place, half second off. You have to rely on a mistake from Oliver. We haven't seen many of those today. Grumio's gained 2 places off of this restart. Looking at one more for Alva. He's a second or so back, and there's a huge threat of cars behind him. Snowhunter battling Huggy about those, so maybe too preoccupied with chasing down the Aston Martin in front. Back up front, it's still Chelova and Zach Sherman, but Chelova's really pulled away here. Yellow flag, and that is Lycon, and that is Ethan have made contact. Both cars go sliding down the order and out of the points completely here. That puts Grumio back inside them here. 2 points to his name. And penalties start to come into play in the late stage of this game. Yellow flag, sector 2. Who is that? That's Daniel Aaron has got around again. May have had contact with Ethan there as well. Oliver pulling away. Zach Sherman's job now is to reel him back in over these next couple of laps. Or hope that the Mercedes car makes a mistake. And as I said a few moments ago, we haven't seen too many of those. Landlord now in 3rd. As it stands, will take his 2nd podium of the season. Enough points to move him up to higher up in the championship. And get Aston Martin a bit closer to the McLaren duo. But Fan behind him there in 4th. I'll stay right behind him, 3 seconds back, and with a charging Ericsson on his tail. ERS deployed for both cars here. Level playing field. Ericsson has the tow, but it's not enough for this stage. Yellow flags out again there for Daniel, who quickly recovers the car. Gets himself rolling again. Grimio now into 8th as well, passing Alvar, who's still holding his own on the inside. One could get very tight indeed. Alvar still on the outside. Grimio can't quite shut him out, but Williams has no choice but to back off. Wardy there in 6th, but with a 3-second penalty to his name. If he gets any more, then that could be his point chances over here. At this point, he might just do it. Grimio now 8th and closing back in. Zach 7 falling down 2 seconds from Chael over here, who is mastering these wet conditions and on course to become the first driver to win 2 wins. Win 2 wins to win 2 races this season. There's not much longer to go. Oh, as I say, he goes wide. Holds the car, but may lose a tenth or two. Courtney Goblin into the pits. Daniel Aaron goes wide. Penalty to serve for Courtney Goblin before it makes a stop onto a fresh set of inters. And away he goes. Not much to race for in that Ferrari. Websy there in 13th. A gamble earlier to go on to his intermediate under the second safety car. Didn't pay off for him. A mistake on that restart led to his race potentially falling apart. He was up there in 3rd earlier on. Quite an unfortunate fall from Grace. Daniel Aaron's out. He's crashed the car out of turn 4. That's a late safety car that might just spice things up once more time. Shea Oliver has had his lead pegged back several times now. And I can't imagine he's too pleased with it. Now, do we see anyone change onto wet tyres like Dan did? I doubt we will. The track's still about as wet as it was earlier on. Hopefully this restart won't take too long sorting out. Both your 2 leaders staying out. Lionel also staying out. Lycon apologising for the incident earlier on with Ethan. There's 8 stops today for Daniel. Unfortunately coming to nothing in this Grand Prix. Just having an off day, unfortunately. Webbsy into the pits here. Looking at another set of inters. A front wing change as well. So back behind the safety car then once again. And PJ Callett out, retiring from the session. He may have crashed his car on the exit of turn 9 or 10. And there it is there, just on the right of your screen. The front end of the car slammed into the wall on the exit. So we're down to 16 cars now, considerably less retirements than we've seen in recent weeks, which is good to see. Unfortunate for those cars who, of course, weren't able to finish the race. BJ early on lap 3, both Alpines now out, and one of the Alfa Romeo's gone too. So any chance of points maybe looking slim for those Alphas. So little time to go in this race. We're looking like we're gonna have a 2-lap restart to decide everything here. It will all be on the line in these late stages. So your top 10 before we go back to racing on the next lap. Chalova leads. Zach Sherman can't speak. Zach Sherman second. Landlord third. Fan in fourth. Ericsson fifth. Wardy sixth. Pope seventh. Grimio eighth. Alvar ninth. And Snipe Hunter, your final point scorer as it stands. In terms of penalties, Wardy the only one with a penalty, so his chances of points also looking slim here, unless there is a kerfuffle behind him that allows him to gain some time. As Stinganaro leaves the session. Huggy there also has 5 seconds to his name, so his chances of points looking slim as ever too. So drivers like JB and Ethan will be licking their lips at the prospect of still getting the last few points in the closing moments of this race. It's all or nothing now for both Chalova and Zach Sherman, who've been going at it since they're at the mid portion of this race. Here we go now. In a few moments, that safety car will be called to come in. As they make their way through the last couple of corners. Waiting. That message to confirm. The safety car coming into the pit lane. All 16 remaining cars bunched up as the message comes up. Chalova and Zach Sherman have been duelling throughout this race, but one of them will come out on top here. These two on course for their second straight podiums this season. And Zach Sherman hitting the wall there. When he might have picked up some minor damage. Oliver not getting away yet. And there he goes, but Zach Sherman's following him here. And everyone else has really jumped back behind them. It's just these two to settle it. And Zach getting right to work here. Yellow flag for the back of that Snipe Hunter around. Red Bull versus Mercedes here. Zach Sherman looking to the outside. Oliver holding him off. And he can't switch back inside. And this could allow Landlord to close back in. It will. So Landlord could be an unlikely dark horse here in the hunt for his first victory of the season. Chalova in the hunt for the second win of his season, and Zach Sherman on the hunt for the first win of his career in the RDL. A mistake from Chalova be all that it takes to settle this Grand Prix. A mistake from Zach Sherman could equally do the exact same thing. But in whose favour will this one go? The tow, rather ineffective here. Both cars have a good amount of battery left. Landlord now dropping back, about 1.5 seconds behind the Red Bull. Oliver breaking the tow here, but Zach following him. And this is it. Here we go. This is the bell lap. This is for all the marbles here. One more lap to go. And it's not the best of exits from Chalova. Zach closing in. 2 for back to go for a dive though. Just got to keep it nice and steady and hope and pressure the car behind to make a mistake there. But he hasn't. He's had a bit of a skid there. And he's going to fall back, about lose a couple of tenths. He's gone even wider there through turn 3. But he's not over yet. He's still in with a shout, but he's used a lot of his battery there and all trying to keep up. And this race, I hate to say it this early on the lap, but it might just be Chalova's. Landlord back there in third, looking to capitalise on any mistakes should they arise. And Chalova now second clear of the Red Bull. And short of a late mistake This one might just be over. And he's made it through the last chicane. Safe, Lycon with a penalty there. What an impact. The result up front. Short of a mistake from Che Oliver here. He's dominated today since Gremio fell away, as he has done several times in the past. He has been unable to close it out, but this time he's going to do it again. And he rounds the last couple of corners here. Take his second victory in 2 weeks. And is the third victory of his RDL career is going to be Che Oliver, who wins here in Miami. Zach Sherman home in second, another podium for him. Landlord there in third. That car's falling back there, and that is Pope is falling away. And Wardy all of a sudden through for P6, but falling out. He stayed in the points. 1 point for Wardy at the end of it. Pope, I'm not sure what happened to him there. He must have made a mistake of some kind. Gremio down there in 15th. He spun out. It's over for Gremio, who may have made contact with Pope in the late stages. Che Oliver, his rival from season 13, wins again and increases that championship lead by a huge margin. And that championship lead will be looking very, very satisfying indeed for the Mercedes driver Che Oliver, who wins for the second time in a row. First in Imola, now in Miami. Zach Sherman second, Landlord in third. 30 points now for both drivers in the championship each. I'm going to have to talk to Zach Sherman in a few moments' time if we can, after what is truly a brilliant victory. And Zach Sherman regretting potentially going for it, but may have made the right choice there, as he may have binned both cars there. So there's your final results. Che Oliver wins the race, Zach Sherman second, Landlord in third, Pham fourth, Ericsson fifth, Pope sixth, Alvar seventh, JB eighth, Ethan ninth, and Wardy in 10th. And it's Websy 11th, Courtney 12th, Lycon 13th, Huggy Bear 14th, Sniper Hunter 15th, Gremio in the end comes home in 16th, poor race for him, Khaled 17th, Daniel 18th, Curtis 19th, and BJ also failed to finish. He finishes in 20th. So that was a very entertaining Grand Prix indeed, and I had to get Oliver in once again, see if we can talk to him. That's a very entertaining race. I'll see if we can get to both Che Oliver and Zach Sherman here, because that's very entertaining sides of the same battle. I'll see if we can get in Landlord as well. I've sent out all three of the podium finishes here. Let's see if we get anyone in. We're going to speak to Zach Sherman in a few moments' time. We'll see if we can get to Oliver first. It's a brilliant race. Congrats to the three podium finishers. Miami always serving up chaos, especially in the wet. It was very exciting indeed. Alright, we'll get Oliver in now. Alright, Oliver, you there for us? Oliver, you there? Just give him a moment here. Oh yeah, I'm from Oliver. You got us there?
Hello, can you hear me, mate?
Yep, there we go. Got you just fine now. Well, here we are again. Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Talk us through it. What went down?
Yeah, it's pretty smooth race, to be honest. I think I led from that one, which was surprising. Got lucky, to be honest, with Blaze. Basically, he was about to overtake me on the outside. I can't remember. At the end of the second straight, and the safety car came out just on time, so it saved me really.
Yeah, it gave a bit of confusion there as to who came out in front, because I saw that battle. It was very entertaining for you guys. Of course, you had to deal with Zach Sherman later on in the race. Was there any risk in getting around you?
Yeah, on the last restart, I just felt like I had absolutely no grip. I couldn't put my foot down whatsoever, and I think he possibly could have come around the outside, but I think he backed out of it. But yeah, he put me under pressure, but in the end, I think he made a few mistakes in the final laps, so I managed to just extend the lead a bit more just into the last lap.
Yeah, that's not the only lead. Let me speak. That's not the only lead you've extended. You've extended your championship lead as well by a decent margin.
Yeah.
BJ, Grimio, Websy, all failing to score points. So is that a lead we could potentially maintain into the latter stage of the season, do you think?
Hopefully if we continue in this frame, we'll see what happens.
In terms of next week's race, it's Spain next week to my knowledge. How is Barcelona as a track for you?
It's one of my stronger tracks, which is good, so we'll see how that goes.
I think I remember you
Hopefully
saying...
another result.
So go on.
Hopefully another good result.
Yeah, I can definitely hope so. I thought you said Miami was one of your weaker tracks last week, didn't you? What's happened then?
Yeah, it is actually one of my weaker tracks usually. I don't know what happened today, to be honest.
I mean, yes. They say form is temporary and class is permanent, so it might just be class. So we'll just have to see about the next week. And congratulations again on the victory. Potentially we'll see you next week.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, speak to you, mate. See you soon.
In a bit.
Bye-bye.
That was a very pleased Che Oliver after victory. And we'll go now to Zach Sherman, who finished in second place, second podium of the season. Have to wait for him here. And yet to get a response from Landlord as to whether or not we're able to get an interview from him. It might just be Zach Sherman. Zach, you there with us?
Yeah, I'm here, mate.
Oh, congratulations on the podium, second straight, but once again finishing behind Che Oliver there.
Yeah, it was just one of those. He was mega quick in the dry, especially, and then when it got to wet and with all the safety cars, I had a couple of opportunities, but he was just mega quick today. Didn't quite have the pace.
I saw in the chat you were saying you were potentially looking to try and maybe go for it into the first corner on the last restart. Was that ever a possibility?
Yeah, it was actually on both of the wet safety car restarts. It was he seemed to sort of either go a little bit deep or a little bit deep into turn one, and then as you go through the S's section, then he was sort of all out of shape. The first time I wasn't quite close enough, and then the second restart, I was almost pushing him round the corner, and could have maybe stuck it round the outside, but I thought I wasn't expecting anywhere near as good a result as P2, so I didn't really want to risk it. I thought I'm more than happy to take the 18 points.
Yeah, solid 18 points moves you up a good deal in the running order. In terms of next week's race, Spain, what are we thinking about Barcelona? How's that as a track for you?
It's one of those. I've actually done a great deal of running at Barcelona on this game. It's one of those on previous games where it's not been the best track for me, but it's one of those I'm not 100% sure at the minute. I need to get quite a bit of practice done and hopefully get another good result next week.
Yeah, we can only hope so. Potentially, could the victory be on the cards potentially in the next few weeks? I mean, you've been quite good recently.
Well, I mean, that's a third, then a second, so it makes sense. But no, I tend to try and make the most of the incidents that happen during the race, because I don't quite have the raw pace of the likes of Landlord, Grumio, Che. Don't quite have the raw pace, but you never know what can happen. There could be a safety car, and I could find myself in a position to possibly take the win. You never know.
We can only hope. Well, thanks for the quick interview there. Congratulations again on the podium finish. Hopefully we'll see you next week.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Take care.
And you. That was Zach Sherman after a second place finish there, improving on last week's result. I mean, I haven't heard anything from Landon. He's jumped right onto Gran Turismo 7 to call it a night there for him. So that is the end of the stream. I do hope you've enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to like, share and subscribe for all future RDL action as the season progresses. A lot of racing still to come. Could Chelover defend his lead? We have to find out. But until next time,